giving your former self a piece of advice. Christine already took us back into her past also earlier, or maybe a young Friday for Future female activist out there. What would be a key piece of advice that you would like to share? Christine, would you like to go first?
Sure. I would say go for for a subject where really your heart beats for. And then don't be shy, speak out, ask for advice, think of networks and think of decentralized solutions. We're in the 21st century, so it does not mean, and I think this panel has already shown, there's a wealth of information out there, wealth of organizations. We don't need to replicate what others are doing, but we need to work in network and connect the dots, and that can also help you in your own career. Just reach out, get inspired, and then go for what you're really passionate about.
Great, thank you. Tracey, any piece of advice to your former self or young female aspiring leaders listening?
I'll go back to what I said before, and I'll be very brief, but I think it really is about creating opportunities and really trying not to let people limit you. So look for what's needed and jump in to do it, and don't be afraid of jumping in and creating something yourself that's needed, that might not be part of your job description, but you can create a new job sometimes by doing that.
That's also a great piece of advice, because many of the young women starting out, this question, what do you want to be when you grow up? We have all these jobs to create. So, so much to invent in terms of future career paths. Rana, one piece of advice from you.
Maybe just to build on what Tracey said is don't let others limit yourself, but don't limit yourself. We also have like barriers in our minds, and to build on this, I think really speaking up is not easy for everybody. So 2 pieces of advice here. Very often the barriers or the opportunities lie on the things that are not talked about. So ask questions and don't feel bad about asking questions when you don't have the answer. On the contrary, this creates opportunity to connect. And the other one is, if you're shy, if it's difficult to speak up, either get yourself a theater class, sing, whatever, do something fun, which makes it easier to speak up. And then force yourself a bit out of the comfort zones, because this will pay off.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much for that. Linda, are you want to share some advice?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I just want to echo the words of notorious RBG Ruth Bader Ginsburg, as spoken by Rana, because I was smiling. I didn't realize that saying was universal, because my mother always says, before you get married, have both eyes open. After you get married, close one eye. So I guess I'm just going to emphasize, be deaf and be blind. Maybe if somebody had said that to me growing up or coming up in the ranks, that, just stay focused, and some of this distracting, because that's really what they are. They're distracting conversations, distracting matters that end up limiting you when really that shouldn't be the case. So absolutely be very, very selective and be very, very focused and keep your eye on the ball is what I would say to my younger self. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Linda. And the final piece of advice from you, Ellen.
Oh, thank you very much. I mean, I can also echo what was said. Take risks, go out of your comfort zone was very good. Say something like despite, you will face resistance, and don't get disencouraged from the first time of resistance, and find friends and network like those women we have here today on the panel and in the chat. Thank you.
Well, thank you all so much.